Hi everyone, this is Mishka, Misha short, or Missy Mish. As some of you guys have never noticed, or some of you have already known, I have actually walked out my job. I officially walked out of my job after the toxic management went way too extreme. I know it's really hard for me to verbally process this, but the main thing is, it doesn't make sense. Every grown adults in my whole life, from one job to the other, they were using crazy things as an excuse, but this kind of vibe, I can't believe what I'm saying, and I can't believe what I actually witnessed. The past few months, while I was so focused with my homeschooling, while I was focused with my life altogether, just to feel at my own pace. Despite all this got me emotionally drained during the holidays, and especially when I really want to get back on track with my drawings and something that makes me for me. Even no one's not gonna understand I have a learning disability or autism spectrum, but thanks to two certain guys, they late they they were the only ones who've been responsible for controlling my hours. One guy, he claimed he's a DJ. He was getting so flirtatious with me just almost a month ago. Just 3 hours, 3 hours before they had to send me home due to the snowfall that came in. And just on my last day, it was supposed to be on February 12th, but instead it was on February 10th. I was so kind of to show my true appreciation by baking cookies, but every single time I'm trying to get the confidence out, and the first couple times, 2 times, when I'm trying so hard to focus and fairly clean everything out in the lobby in the restaurant of the dining room, of course it was locked that day. I was shocked that it was so chaotic. It was flooding. The whole half of the vending machines was flooded. And there's certain coworkers that weren't so nice to me. As Anonymous did say, one of them are more like the HH fan member. It didn't really matter, but the only focus is on this certain manager. The certain manager that I didn't really understand, that I don't really know of, he was the one who controlled all my hours. And he was the one who took all my hours away when I really need this job. And it came to the point it's really affecting me, my mental health, my well-being, and physically. And it really upsets my husband so much. It came to a final point, they acted so empathetical. They pretended to be so kind and reasonable or serious when they want to impress those out there. It didn't make sense for them to treat me or talk me down or acting so weirdly odd around me. For one of them, for example, what really bothered me a lot, I noticed that everyone's been walking out of their jobs and everyone's giving up their schools. There was some relentless bullying, abuse, discrimination. Just a just a heads up, just to be clear, trigger warning, no offense. I just don't want anyone else to get upset or go through the same pain like I'm been going through. So is my colleagues, my friends, and my allies. I just didn't want anyone to go through the same hurt like I did. It's been going on more than once. Like, no matter how many times I've been giving so many second chances, this happened so repeatedly, nonstop. Well, forgive me, I've just been really feeling sick due to my painful congestion. It hurts from my chest and then with my respiratory infection. The thing is, that last guy, an international manager of all the other managers, what he did, that was really unprofessional. He was rude, he was rebellious, he was thoughtless, arrogant, and I found out really shocked, appalling, and disgusting. I would say he really went too far after I was trying to tell him and another manager, the kind one, even though I'm not really sure what she really does. Even they've been constantly changing all my hours and all my days all around. Even when they claim us labor hours. That I can understand, but it never makes sense for people like him and the other guy to do something so unprofessionally. Having fun with the position they were given is not meant for going up excusing to joke themselves out on and off. And especially towards to me who have learning disabilities, who have anxieties, who have autism spectrum, and especially struggling with grief. Something I can never verbally process. If they would immediately stop and really listen to what I have to say, then maybe I would have walked out. Which I already did because I had to believe in myself because the way how that guy was talking badly, and especially that HH fan, cause I'm a coworker, talking really, really disrespectful to a customer at the window. They both didn't seem to realize how chaotic it really overstimulate and overload way too much and way too far. That I immediately have got to walk out. That came to a front opponent to my gut. It was getting so way too much and chaotic. They were so unreasonable, unprofessional, and they're nothing but a thoughtless bully, and I cannot work with someone who's unprofessional like that. And main importantly, what I actually realized, all the above managers that I have encountered, and especially those who pretended to be the boss, it didn't give all of them the right to support themselves going off unpunished and using, with or without their silly little cards they played around. But using AI, literally cheating, making fun of those who are suffering. And they push a person over the edge by working so much to the point that they can't work anymore. They overworked them out so much, they got forced to get dehydrated to death on the job. Not at my current job, and especially this for the matter. No offense to everyone, those who are good, but some of them are going downhill. McDonald's, and especially this, and I'm really shocked with the other previous jobs. What they did, that was really, really unforgivable. And as much as I found out, while I was struggling a lot, while I was trying to keep myself together, while focusing with homeschooling and getting ready for graduation, and hoping I would get my hours back, I'm trying my best to believe, hope, and giving so many second chances and being loyal to certain people for taking advantage of that. They were literally been cheating. They've been cheating on me and cheating on everyone else with AI while we've been going through a lot. They didn't even realize or care of how much this has been affecting me as a human being individual. They wouldn't even see how their actions, speaks on words, have supported all those to be making fun of those who are in a state of grief. Just that same day, thanks to the last two guys, mostly that certain manager, more horrible, less than, just as twice worse than the HH chauffeur has been a hotel fan for acting at the drive-thru. Forgive me, it's hard for me to breathe. That same day after I walked out, even after I said goodbye to one of the good apples who worked there, I found out a young lady through a certain group that I was in, she unexpectedly passed away. And thanks to that grown man of all the managers, he was so disrespectful and thoughtless to know that. And he called himself as a good, faithful leader? Or he knew what he was doing? Sure, everyone has a right to be shocked and disgusted. He didn't even realize or care of how much this is hurting everyone's feelings. And now, thanks to this attitude, I don't really care And it doesn't really matter if he's only using AI or whatever he does just to excuse all the silly idea just for fun or just putting up to the test to chase for a cup of coffee or energy drinks. Because of that, I've been noticing there's so many people who are grieving. In him, along with certain managers that I knew. And especially the certain managers that my husband knew from a previous job and the other. Toxic management and horrible workers pretending to be the boss. What they did, they supported a grown man to harm a 9-year-old. And especially young students to give up their lives at a very young age. And they cared? No. When I first saw what happened to my childhood my childhood memory of a grown father figure. You remember the guy from Lizzie McGuire? Robert Carradine, he really did gone through a lot. Sure, the ones I grown up like the child stars, Aaron Carter, Dylan and Cole Sprouse, the twins, their point of view about abusive parents, that I already trust my gut. It's what me and my friends already understand really better long enough. But him, at the age of 71, he took all that risk battling all of his inner demons. And the executives, what they did, that was the total opposite behind the industry. Jobs or no jobs, any workplace cannot have these kind of ideas. We don't want to tolerate these kind of behaviors whatsoever. And I don't really understand and don't really know what actually any of them were thinking. And it doesn't really matter if they only want to use AI just to be putting everyone up to the test without their consent or just to be funny. The truth is, AI cannot be used for profit gain or diabolical gain. So instead of taking this responsibly, they didn't know they're partially responsible for taking part unknowingly for pushing everyone's lives over the edge. I'm not here to cause any trouble, and I'm not here to escalate anything. I'm saying this out of experience. And it's not about who did what to who was right or wrong, or left or right, who's deserved to be punished, or who did. Look, it doesn't matter. It really hurts a lot of people to know someone really manipulate others too long. That's when I notice another young little girl, a 13-year-old or 12-year-old, she'd given up too shortly after Mr. Carden did. She left a message, and that's when I found out from the members of my group. We got immediately concerned and scared that thanks to the managers in my jobs, even the ones mostly who's supposed to be responsible for their own actions but didn't, there's so many lives so young, they've been given up and they're gone. And just now, the AI stuff, not just on here, but everywhere of all about platforms. The managers or leaders, moderation, whichever they want to prefer as. Just so you know, they need to take responsibly instead of just misguiding people through or just punch them right then and there and assuming the worst. Forgive me. I'm still suffering with being sick and sinus. I can't really pretend this is really normal for people to use AI to cause every frustration to a lot of people who have disabilities or autism or anxieties, depression, so many things. Sure, AI were meant to use for fun, and those who have struggled a lot, that I can understand and I respect them for that. They use it fairly and wisely. But most of all, after finding out the certain executives and managers like the guys that I knew, they use it as an excuse, and it doesn't change the fact. Me and an anonymous members, we all have found out. There's not going to be any more second chances. I'm not being critical, and no, it's not about politics, and no, it's not about who deserved to be an internet hero, and I'm not into all that. All I'm saying right now, the whole AI stuff, it really has got to stop. Because I found out I've been set up for being punished. There were so many things were set up the last minute. And I gotta say, I personally blame some certain guys who, and gals even, for setting me up for using background AI stuff. And it's hard for me to be focused at my own pace when you have the holiday rush. And especially the unexpected circumstances, people were so cruel. They never once cared about anyone but themselves. But when I first know this young teenage girl's message, you gotta think about someone besides yourself because you never know what they're going through. And now, thanks to certain people who rely AI way too much and way too far, it's affected my best friend, who's Swedish. She's getting wrongfully punished on Tumblr. Whoever's controlling AI, this has gotta stop. It doesn't make sense to use AI to go off unpunished. Even if Refsan might hear my video just now, even if most of the things he may not understand most of what I'm saying anyway, just keep in mind this is only a video diary, and it's not merely meant for fame or fortune. The thing is, I've been noticing AI is driving everyone so much, so crazy, and so insane. I'll be like, the thing is, I personally blame the ones who really rely on way too much and way too far. It's pushing so many people's lives over the edge and allowing those who are so manipulative, cruel, and into those bad things. My whole life, we've always been against bullying. We've always been against drugs. No offense to the ones out there. But always against those who are really using all these bad ideas to get what they wanted. So certain executives want to figure this out. They want to make it better. The thing is, it didn't work out even to me. Certain ones like that, that's understandable. Only the good certain bots. But mainly and importantly, using AI to excuse what really happened is never anyone's fault but those bad apples. And the only thing is, I don't tell lies. And anyone says I do is a liar themselves. And if the ones who really deserve to be getting what they wanted, instead of just thinking about anyone's well-being, mentally and emotionally, and physically, I can't say if they're proud of themselves. They're making fun of a lot of people who are really been grieving, struggling, in something that they never once understand. They've always been quick to assume. Sure, there's so many bad apples of all above communities out there, but there's some good ones too, like me and you. Even if people may not understand why I'm trying to say this right out loud, I'm just really tired and emotionally drained that I almost nearly give up. But I don't want to give up. And I never want to lose friends because of that. And I personally blame those who've been normalizing bullying, abuse, in any forms aside from work, mostly aside from online. I'm shocked and appalled they were using that team altogether in one, using AI as an excuse to go off unpunished. Anywhere, anytime, any place. If they really want to figure this out as they want to say right to my face, or anyone's face, they said, once I'm finished, we'll figure it out, okay? But here's my question. You really want to figure it out, then figure out all this out for what? There's so many good-hearted people like Mr. Cardine. He cares about everybody. And a lot of people who've given up their lives due to severe bullying relentlessly, and discrimination and racism and who knows what else. Some people like me who have disabilities, a learning disability and autism spectrum, even I never realized it until several years ago. There's so many others like me. Each and every one of them, they all care about everybody. But the executives and managers that I already seen, all they ever care more is about themselves. If they can't really see you as the person that you are, if they always see this as a way just to cope with, or just using it as an excuse again and again, I can't see if they're proud of themselves. I mean, this is no way how we want to live our lives. We know we can't be online forever, and we can't always pretend this is really a-okay. This really has got to stop. But now, all I'm asking politely is try to think of someone besides just yourself. Because you never know who's going through. And as for the ones who's been suffering with all the frustration that's been going with AI, not just here, but any other platforms, aside from just the Amino apps, which I didn't know because I was so focused. The manager were handling so unprofessionally. There were so many AI bots that overspammed my DM chat. Because it's time that we need to sit this out, and I think it's best we need to formally address this. Look, and again, it's not about politics. All we're asking politely is try not to rely on the power of AI way too much. It does a lot bad than it does good. But if you want, then put that into good use. A certain wise professor said, I only used that invention to help people. That's understandable. If you want to, then be the first to make that right. But please do not ever use it for profit gain or for diabolical gain. But also, prevent all this nasty stuff of bullying from going too far. No matter where you go, and no matter any crazy circumstances. You have a right to stand up for others, and especially stand up for yourself. We have faith in you. You also really gotta have to find the courage and faith in yourself. Whatever the fears might be, you just have to believe in yourself. Wherever it's gonna be right in front of you, that fear will be defeated just by facing up to it. By overcoming your fears. I'm so sorry for making this way too long of a vlog, video diary. But I hope to see you guys real soon. And I just hope we'll recover from all this crazy AI madness. Okay, I'll have to end this here and see you around. Bye.